The Homeless in Glasgow. Introduction to Transformational Leadership. The transformational leadership theory can be used to help fix the issue of homelessness in Glasgow, as this leadership approach gets people on board with your objectives, which can then help you implement the changes you want to achieve. Transformational leadership is a style of leadership that creates a change in followers in a positive manner by motivating them to exceed their individual interests for the greater good of the group or organisation. Transformational leaders use vision and communication to inspire and motivate followers towards a common goal. Steps on how to develop the skills and behaviours of transformational leadership. They have to have a good understanding of their own personal strengths and weaknesses, as this can be advantageous, as according to Riggio and Reichard, leaders who understand their emotional intelligence can usually promote trust and create bonds with their team members. Enhancing communication. Communication between a transformational leader and their followers is vital. Leaders that are skilled with communicating effectively encourage active listening from followers, which leads to a better understanding of shared goals or visions. This can create a sense of unity between leaders and their followers.
Why is homelessness a big issue? Homelessness is defined as not having a permanent residence or place to stay, and isn't just about people who sleep on the streets. Glasgow's homelessness level is much higher than the rest of Scotland, as the level of people who are threatened with homelessness is 70% higher in Glasgow compared to the rest of Scotland, according to Glasgow City Council. The wait for social housing in Glasgow is over 60,000 and shows a need that the city has to get more affordable accommodation. According to research, the number of people in Glasgow who have died due to homelessness in temporary accommodation or sleeping on the street has been 178 since 2021. 45% of people who are homeless have a mental health problem. According to the Scottish Government, 11% of people who are near or are homeless are addressed as having a need for help for drug or alcohol addiction, and 59% of deaths of people who are homeless in 2020 were due to drug overdoses. The age of death for people that are homeless is 45 for men and 43 for women, and more than a third of people who sleep rough have been physically assaulted. These statistics show the problem that people who are homeless face and shows how much worse life is for them.
How can effective leadership combat homelessness? Due to transformational leadership being a leadership style that focuses on emotions, values, ethics, standards, and long-term goals, we believe transformational leadership would be the most effective leadership style to help improve the issue of homelessness in Glasgow, because if implemented effectively, it would help the government and community support the objective of reducing homelessness, while also inspiring them to believe in the changes we wish to implement due to transformational leadership focusing on motivation of people involved and their development. A clear vision would need to be created by the transformational leader for the plan to help solve homelessness in Glasgow, and communicated clearly amongst the community. Communicating the vision across effectively would help people involved feel confident and motivated towards executing the change strategy, as there is a set structure in place for them to all follow. Along with this, they would need to engage and encourage both the public and organisations to be involved in helping decrease the number of homeless cases in Glasgow, as well as welcoming suggestions so that people feel they have a voice and that they are valued, which in turn will boost their commitment to help the shared cause. However, with this being said, there is always a risk, as the transformational leader may receive resistance to change from the public and organisations in their willingness to help with the cause. Transformational leadership can also be seen as possibly possessing manipulative tendencies, resulting in a lack of support from followers.
Recommendations to improve homelessness.
One recommendation to address local homelessness is to increase public awareness on the severity of the issue, as people are more likely to act if they understand how inhumane the homelessness crisis is, and its wider effects on the economy. One way this can be achieved is by carrying out education campaigns across Glasgow. This could include classes and seminars where the public can understand the main causes and effects of homelessness, community chats to get people more involved with the issue within their community. Advertising campaigns, flyers and billboards could also raise awareness by familiarising people with the shocking statistics. Organising awareness events in local town halls and community centres around Glasgow will also help educate and empower locals to fundraise, donate and campaign within the community. Another recommendation is for government to create a centralised system for homelessness services. This would involve creating a unified platform where housing, healthcare and social services can coordinate their efforts and share information about individuals in need. Having all of these departments of government collaborating to help those in need will ensure the most efficient outcome. Targeted strategies are often required to ensure that adequate housing, health and social care is available and accessible to the homeless population. This strategy would mean that all of these departments will be better equipped to address and help resolve the needs of the homeless population and could create a more accessible and productive system for the homeless people. A final recommendation to address homelessness is legislation and policy changes in government. One possible change is to introduce a rent cap of 3% rent rises across Glasgow to protect vulnerable people on fixed or limited incomes from rapidly increasing rent prices. A similar policy was in place nationwide across Scotland from 2022. However, this policy ended in March 2024, putting people at risk of facing homelessness. This would ensure that landlords cannot implement rent rises of more than 3%, meaning they cannot unfairly push up prices on vulnerable tenants. This will help lower eviction rates of those in need.
The first method can be having more affordable housing. In November 2023, the BBC found that the council had more than 5,200 open cases for homelessness. They also found that the cost of living plays a huge role in this crisis. Cost of living has risen, which has caused rent prices to increase. The government could invest in buildings or refurbishing social housing for those more at risk of homelessness. They could help tackle the issue of lack of housing, which plays a major factor in homelessness. They could further create a cap on rent prices to ensure rent is fair for tenants and landlords. The second method is strengthening preventative support services, for example, enhancing mental health services, debt management services. Glasgow City Council currently operates an emergency homelessness service, but it's only available for a few hours each day. By allocating more government funding to this service, it could be expanded to provide immediate support to homeless individuals or those in urgent need. Increasing funding would also improve the quality of services, allowing people to receive more comprehensive and supportive care. Additionally, establishing a hardship fund would also be beneficial. Edinburgh has a similar fund which provides guidance and planning assistance to help individuals improve their living situations and find long-term stability. The third example is provide job training and employment opportunities, so offering job training programs or incentive programs. Another recommendation is to address the local homelessness is to provide the job training programs which are tailored to homeless individuals. The government could collaborate with businesses to create training opportunities that equip participants with essential skills for secure and stable employment. For example, London implemented a programme called Strive, so Skills, Training, Innovation and Employment, which supported 100 single individual homeless people over 2 years, helping them gain valuable skills and workplace experience. This initiative proved highly effective in empowering people to rebuild their lives and regain stability. Overall, based on the evidence given, it is clear to say that homelessness is a big issue within Glasgow and the wider community. We strongly suggest that this can be an issue tackled if there are more housing available and if there are preventative support there for people so they don't fall into the hole of homelessness. We further believe that as a community we can all come together and tackle this issue. Overall, based